Hello, Immortal News family, and welcome back to our channel. In the last 24 hours, we have received the somber news of the passing of extraordinary talents, and today's episode is dedicated to honoring their memory. Before we start, we kindly ask for your support. If this video or the legacies of these remarkable individuals have touched your life, please consider giving this video a thumbs up as a sign of respect and remembrance. Thank you. Number 9. When Norm walked into Cheers, everybody knew his name, and nobody could have played him like George. That quote from a longtime castmate captures the magic George Wendt brought to every scene: steady, warm, and unforgettable. George Wendt passed away peacefully in his sleep at age 76. Beloved by generations, he leaves behind a rich legacy of laughter, heart, and humanity. He grew up in a big Irish Catholic family in Chicago, the third of 9 kids. Though he dabbled in college, it was performing that captured his spirit. At Chicago's Second City, he found both his comedic footing and the love of his life, fellow actor Bernadette Burkett. George's career took off when he landed the role of a lifetime, Norm Peterson on Cheers. For over a decade, he brought charm and humor to the barstool that became his second home. Appearing in all 275 episodes, he earned 6 Emmy nods and millions of loyal fans. But George never stopped expanding his talents. From cult films like Fletch and The Little Rascals to sketch comedy and Broadway stages, he brought warmth and wit to every role. Off-screen, he remained grounded, a devoted husband, proud father of 3, and loving uncle to Jason Sudeikis. What set George apart wasn't just the laughs, it was the kindness. Colleagues admired his humility, friends cherished his loyalty, family remembers his laugh, his hugs, and how he always showed up when it mattered most. He had no ego, zero attitude, just a guy you genuinely wanted to be around, said one former co-star. As the world says goodbye, fans and fellow actors have taken to social media to share memories. Countless tributes echo the same words: funny, generous, lovable. George's passing has left a quiet space, like a favorite seat suddenly empty. But the laughter he gave us, the comfort of a familiar face on screen, that never fades. Cheers to George Wendt, a man who made millions smile and never asked for anything more. Tributes to George Wendt. Number 8. Gentle, generous, and fiercely smart is how Zoe Wanamaker once described Gawn Grainger. Those words echoed through every theater he graced, every set he lit up, and every heart he touched. Gawn Grainger passed away peacefully at the age of 87. He spent over 7 decades in the world of acting, storytelling, and stagecraft, always with humility, always putting the work first. Born in Glasgow, he took to the stage before he was 12. A child performer in post-war London, his talent only deepened with age. By the 1970s, he was acting alongside greats at the National Theatre, personally invited by Laurence Olivier himself. That moment would become a turning point in a career filled with defining moments. He became known for thoughtful, layered performances, from the Earl of Kildare in The Shadow of the Tower, to George Stephenson in Doctor Who, to appearances in Midsummer Murders and Foyle's War. His range stretched from gritty drama to sharp comedy, from Shakespeare to Sunday night TV. But Grainger wasn't just in front of the camera. He was also a playwright and screenwriter. His pen was as precise as his presence, crafting stories that mirrored his quiet depth. He balanced the spotlight with a deep private life. He was a husband to actress Zoe Wanamaker since the mid-90s, and a father devoted to his blended family. Friends recall a man who was welcoming, warm, a mentor to many, and never one to seek fame for fame's sake. Acting unions and theatre companies across the UK paid tribute after his passing, calling him a vital thread in the fabric of British theatre. His colleague and friend, director Nicholas Galanos, praised his unwavering grace and intelligence across every rehearsal room. Gawn Grainger passed after a brief illness, and though the curtain has fallen, the echo of his voice, wise, witty, and always human, remains. Tributes to Gawn Grainger. Number 7. Some people lead with quiet strength, building lives from compassion, kindness, and unwavering integrity. Michael J. McStay was one of those people. Known to many in the Ardsley community for his thoughtful presence and generous heart, Michael lived a life of meaning rooted in faith, family, and service. He passed away suddenly at the age of 59, a loss that shook the lives of those who had the fortune of knowing him. Michael was a proud and active member of the Knights of Columbus, where he found purpose and brotherhood through the James A. Flaherty Council, Docker 3128 in Glenside. There he shared his faith and worked quietly behind the scenes, helping organize events and supporting countless causes that uplifted the community. His work reflected the core values of the organization: charity, unity, fraternity, and patriotism, which Michael lived every single day. Born to Hugh and Bertha McStay, Michael carried forward the values of hard work and care for others. He was the kind of person who showed up, whether to lend a hand, share a warm smile, or simply offer time when someone needed it most. Friends describe Michael as humble and kind, someone who led by example, not with words but with action. His sudden passing left many in disbelief, a stark reminder of how precious time together truly is. Though his professional life is not widely chronicled, Michael's legacy is reflected in the lasting friendships and strong family ties he nurtured. His community service, particularly through the Knights of Columbus, spoke volumes about where he placed his priorities: in people, in faith, and in doing good. A fellow knight once said, "Michael didn't look for attention, he just wanted to help. He made you feel like family, even if you had just met him." That simple but powerful sentiment is how many will continue to remember him. Michael's life reminds us that impact isn't always measured by fame or titles, but by the quiet ways we show up for others. He leaves behind a community better for having known him, and hearts forever grateful for his presence. Tributes to Michael McStay. Number 6. I don't buy cheap horses. I buy good horses cheap. That's how Larry Demeritte summed up his talent and his belief in potential, both in horses and in people. Larry passed away at 75 after a long and courageous battle with blood cancer, leaving behind a story of determination, quiet strength, and gentle wisdom. Born in the Bahamas, Larry grew up around the track, learning from his father and dreaming of something bigger. In 1976, he followed that dream to the United States. He not only made a life here, he helped shape the sport of horse racing. Over 4 decades as a trainer, Larry became known for spotting greatness in overlooked places. He saddled 184 winners and earned more than $5 million in purses, yet numbers only part of his story. He made history in 2024 when he became the first person from the Caribbean and only the second black trainer in over 70 years to bring a horse to the Kentucky Derby. That horse, West Saratoga, was bought for just $11,000, a true example of Larry's eye and heart. His earlier success with Memorial Maniac in the Stars and Stripes Turf Stakes signaled that Larry had arrived. But it was never just about the wins, it was about the journey, the people, and lifting others as he climbed. His career was filled with quiet mentorship, breaking down barriers, and insisting that anyone, regardless of background, could have a place on the racetrack. Despite being diagnosed with cancer in 1996, Larry never stepped away. He continued to train, teach, and dream. Longtime friend Tony Wilson said, "Getting to the Derby kept him going." He was an incredible guy. Kind, humble, and spiritual, Larry's presence was felt long before the finish line. Larry is survived by his loving wife, Inga, and a wide circle of friends, family, and colleagues who admired and learned from him. His impact reaches far beyond racing gates, a legacy of hope, grit, and belief in second chances. He leaves behind more than records. He leaves behind a movement toward inclusion, fairness, and believing in the underdog. Tributes to Larry Demeritte. Number 5. He was a kind, generous intellectual in a city of climbers. These words, shared by a colleague, sum up the heart of Michael Ledeen. He stood apart, not just for what he achieved, but for how he moved through the world. Michael passed away peacefully at the age of 83, surrounded by family at his daughter's home in Texas. His death followed a long illness and a series of strokes. He was a storyteller of history, but more than that, he became a part of it. Michael played a key role during the Cold War, quietly shaping U.S. strategy at crucial moments. His mission to Italy in the early 1980s helped shift the balance of power in favor of the West. In a world of rhetoric, he favored action, and the results shaped history. A trained historian, he studied under George Moos and authored the first full history of Mussolini's push for an international fascist movement. But Michael never stopped with theory. He served under President Reagan, advising on terrorism and global threats. Later, he joined the American Enterprise Institute and became a passionate supporter of democratic movements, especially in Iran. Not one to shy away from controversy, Michael even kept a Darth Vader mask in his office, his way of embracing the public's misunderstandings with humor and grit. He didn't seek approval from Washington's power circles. He was there to serve principles he believed in: freedom, security, and truth. His commitment wasn't only professional, it was deeply personal. With his wife Barbara, he opened their home to an Iranian dissident, helping him rebuild his life in safety. Together, they made policy human. Michael's children carried on his service, each dedicating their lives to military and intelligence work in some of the world's toughest regions. His legacy lives in them, in the minds he sharpened, and in the freedoms he helped protect. He was remembered by the Jewish Policy Center as a tireless fighter for American defense and security. But to many, he was something more: a loyal friend, a sharp thinker, and a voice that bridged history with action. Tributes to Michael Ledeen. Number 4. Leslie believed that writing was not just craft, It was conscience, a former student once said. That belief shaped not only his own work, but the voices of generations who followed. Leslie Epstein passed away at 87, leaving behind a remarkable legacy in literature and education. He died peacefully, surrounded by family, following a brief illness. The son of Hollywood legend Philip Epstein, screenwriter of Casablanca, Leslie grew up surrounded by storytelling, but he carved his own path, one grounded in books, ideas, and the complexities of history. His acclaimed novel King of the Jews gave voice to the trauma of the Holocaust in a way that was bold, honest, and unforgettable. Translated into 11 languages, it became a cornerstone of modern Holocaust fiction. Other works like San Remo Drive and Hill of Beans reflected his personal heritage, shaped by family and film. A Rhodes Scholar and Yale-educated playwright, Leslie never stopped seeking or sharing knowledge. For more than 3 decades, he led the creative writing program at Boston University. There, he molded countless young writers with the same meticulous care he gave to every sentence he wrote. His essays appeared in The Atlantic, Harper's, and the New York Times Book Review, always marked by clarity and conviction. Leslie didn't do anything halfway. Whether in writing, teaching, or conversation, he gave his full attention and expected the same in return. Beyond his work, he was a devoted husband to Eileen, a loving father to Anya, Paul, and Theo, and a friend who could effortlessly mix humor with depth. A colleague at Boston University described him as a giant of contemporary fiction and a beloved teacher who changed lives with his wisdom and kindness. Leslie's impact can be found in pages across the world and in the hearts of those lucky enough to learn from him. He may be gone, but the stories he told and the storytellers he inspired continue on. Tributes to Leslie Epstein. Number 3. He wasn't just a champion. He was the kind of man everyone wanted to know. Graceful in victory, gracious in life. These words, spoken by a fellow athlete, capture the spirit of Nino Benvenuti. More than his trophies, it was his character that made him unforgettable. Born in a war-changed Europe, Nino's rise to greatness was anything but easy. He moved from Istria to Italy as a child, carrying dreams far greater than the hardships he left behind. As an amateur boxer, he lost only once, out of 120 fights. At the 1960 Rome Olympics, he captured gold for Italy. It was a historic moment that sparked a professional career filled with brilliance. By the mid-1960s, he stood atop the sport. First as super welterweight world champion, then middleweight king after defeating Emil Griffith in a legendary trilogy. That win at Madison Square Garden remains one of boxing's most iconic nights. In total, Nino won 82 bouts, 35 by knockout, out of 90. He wore 2 world titles, and in 1992 took his rightful place in the International Boxing Hall of Fame. But Nino's story wasn't just about fists and glory. He cared deeply for his rivals, reaching out to help Emil Griffith and Carlos Monzon in troubled times. That rare kindness set him apart in a tough sport. After retiring, he thrived as a TV commentator, actor, restaurateur, and city sports counselor in Trieste. Through it all, he remained devoted to family, raising 5 children with love and consistency. Nino Benvenuti passed away peacefully at 87, surrounded by family. His death followed a period of declining health. The Italian Olympic Committee called him a light in our history. Fans and fighters alike shared memories of his elegance, humility, and unforgettable journey. To this day, countless young boxers idolize his footwork, heart, and the way he made the sport beautiful. To those who knew him, he'll be remembered not just for what he achieved, but how he made people feel. Tributes to Nino Benvenuti. Number 2, there is no such thing as neutral data, only data that drives decisions, John Thompson once said. That idea defined his life's work. With care, vision, and remarkable leadership, John helped shape how we understand our world through numbers. John Hubert Thompson passed away peacefully on May 9, 2025, at the age of 73, after a brief illness. His loss is deeply felt across the research and public policy communities. For more than 40 years, John dedicated himself to public service and statistical innovation. He started at the Census Bureau, where he spent nearly 3 decades. Rising through the ranks, he played a vital role in leading the 2000 census. Later, as director of the Bureau from 2013 to 2017, he managed over 100 surveys and helped lay the foundation for the 2020 census. His impact reached far beyond office walls. John promoted modernization during a time of change, shaped policies with precise, accessible data, and strengthened trust across government and community organizations. Under his leadership, the Bureau was awarded the Department of Commerce's highest honor for outstanding service. He spent nearly 15 years at Newark at the University of Chicago, where he led one of the nation's top research organizations. Colleagues describe him as a thoughtful leader, firm in principle, always open to dialogue. After retirement, John continued mentoring young professionals and guiding federal statistics as executive director of COPAFs. He served on national advisory panels and remained active in shaping best practices in research and policy. He was a fellow of the American Statistical Association and a respected member of the National Academy of Sciences Committee on National Statistics. John Thompson wasn't just a leader, he was a listener. He believed in using data to make life better for everyone, and he worked tirelessly to ensure it was done right. He led with clarity and kindness, said a former colleague. John showed what it meant to serve the public with purpose. He is survived by his family, who request privacy as they grieve. The statistical community and the nation are better because of his life's work. Tributes to John Thompson. News 1. Twin Cities journalism has lost a beloved storyteller, as Burl Gilliard, respected Star Tribune reporter and veteran writer, has passed away in Minneapolis at the age of 58. Burl was known for his wide-ranging career, beginning as a music journalist, before turning his pen to features and business reporting, most recently covering medical technology in Minnesota. Through decades of dedicated work, he earned a reputation for his deep curiosity, kindness, and unwavering professionalism, all while facing the challenges of a long-term neuromuscular illness with remarkable courage. Colleagues and readers alike remember Burl as someone always attuned to the music of life, bringing warmth and insight to every story. As friends and family gather to honor his memory, Burl's legacy lives on in the countless stories he shared, and in the community he made a little brighter, one article at a time. News 2. The soccer world is mourning the loss of Gadi Kinda, a beloved former MLS midfielder who passed away yesterday at just 31 years old. The Israeli-Ethiopian player, who was a fan favorite with Sporting Kansas City from 2020 to 2023, was known not only for his talent on the field but for his warm personality and generous spirit. During his time in Major League Soccer, Kinda scored 14 goals in 64 appearances before returning to Israel to play with Maccabi Haifa earlier this year. His skill earned him 10 caps with the Israeli national team after making his debut in 2021. Tributes have poured in from across the sports world, including from Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes, who shared his prayers for Kinda's family and friends. Before a recent match, Kinda's former teammates honored him by posing with his jersey. Kinda will be remembered fondly for what his former club called his outstanding play, passion for the sport, and spirit of kindness and generosity to everyone around him. News 3. Sometimes the brightest souls touch our lives for just a little while, but their impact is felt forever. 18-year-old Henry Achetuno Gudinho had just graduated from Boca Raton High School in Florida. He and his mother Anielka had moved from Venezuela last year, chasing hope and new beginnings. After celebrating his achievement with his girlfriend and her father, Hendry's journey was tragically cut short in a car accident on I-95 just hours after his graduation. While his girlfriend is recovering, Hendry and her father sadly lost their lives that evening. Friends and family remember Hendry as kind, hard-working, and full of love, a young man with dreams and a heartwarming smile. Despite immense grief, his mother urges everyone to cherish their loved ones and to drive carefully, remembering that each life on the road is precious. As their community comes together in support, Hendry's legacy will live on in the love he shared and the joy he brought to all who knew him. News 4. Carrots are making quite a splash on social media these days with a trend called carrot maxing, but health experts are urging caution. This TikTok phenomenon has people consuming carrots daily to achieve a natural tan and glowing skin, as part of a broader movement called looks maxing that focuses on maximizing physical appearance. While eating carrots offers numerous health benefits, including improved eyesight, stronger immune system, and better heart health, consuming too many can lead to a condition called carotenemia. This harmless but noticeable condition causes skin to develop a yellowish-orange hue due to excess beta-carotene accumulating faster than the liver can process it. Some social media users have taken the trend to extremes. One person reported ending up in the emergency room after consuming 6 cans of sliced carrots daily, which contained over 5,250 milligrams of sodium, more than twice the recommended daily amount. Nutrition experts remind us that moderation is key. Carrots are packed with fiber, antioxidants, vitamin K, calcium, and vitamin A, all essential nutrients for digestive health, strong bones, and good vision. Research shows that just 3 servings of baby carrots weekly can significantly boost nutrient intake, especially important since only 1 in 10 American adults consumes the recommended amount of vegetables daily. So while adding carrots to your diet is certainly a healthy choice, this is one trend where more definitely isn't always better. A balanced approach to nutrition remains the best path to both health and natural beauty. News 5. John Mulaney has nothing but admiration for his wife Olivia Munn as she continues her brave journey with breast cancer. In an upcoming appearance on Ted Danson and Woody Harrelson's podcast, Where Everybody Knows Your Name, the 42-year-old comedian opens up about how Munn remained present and devoted to their family throughout her difficult cancer treatments. During the intimate conversation set to release tomorrow, Mulaney praises Munn for her remarkable courage, noting how she gave her greatest best self to their family even while battling aggressive breast cancer in both breasts. The actress underwent multiple surgeries, including a double mastectomy, yet managed to create happy family memories throughout this challenging time. In a particularly touching revelation, Mulaney shares how the couple was able to welcome their daughter May because Munn had the foresight to freeze embryos amid her breast cancer surgeries. This planning allowed their family to grow despite the medical hurdles they faced. Ted Danson, clearly moved by their story, acknowledges Munn's bravery during the podcast, saying, "Obviously your wife, what she went through dealing with cancer and how she dealt with it and how she went public, all of that is so courageous." Munn has been open about her cancer journey since sharing her diagnosis earlier this year, and was recently honored with the Courage Award at an event benefiting the Women's Cancer Research Fund. Through it all, Mulaney has remained a steadfast support, standing by her side through surgeries and recovery. Their story continues to inspire countless people facing similar challenges, showing how love, courage, and family can provide strength even in life's most difficult moments. Number 1. His eyes could speak volumes even in silence, a colleague once said of Nikos Galanos. That quiet, powerful presence became his signature, captivating audiences for more than 5 decades. Nikos Galanos, who passed away peacefully at 79 after a brave year-long battle with cancer, shaped the entertainment landscape of Greece in ways few ever could. With a career that stretched across cinema, theater, and television, he became a beloved household name. His combination of elegance, emotional depth, and sincerity left a lasting impression on all who saw him perform. He made his mark early. Starring alongside Aliki Vujouklaki in the beloved film A Funny Girl, and later in A Leaky Dictator, Galanos cemented his place as a leading man of Greek film. Audiences were instantly drawn to his charm, while directors noticed his range and precision. In the 1970s and 1980s, he shared the screen with greats like Nikos Kourkoulos and Reina Vlahopoulou, capturing stories that still resonate with fans. His performances were subtle yet powerful, often turning supporting roles into unforgettable moments. Galanos was equally devoted to theater. He performed with respected companies and graced Greece's most esteemed stages. His appearance in Play Strindberg at the National Theatre showed his depth and commitment to craft. Television expanded his reach. From his debut in The Just to roles in Journey, Love and Revolution, and The Guardians of Achaia, he became a steady and comforting presence in Greek homes. Even decades later, his performances in series like Athenaides Istories Agapes remain cherished. Beyond the camera, Galanos was known for his warmth and humility. He mentored young actors, uplifted colleagues, and always carried himself with quiet dignity. His passion for the arts was never about fame. It was about connection. Following news of his passing, tributes poured in. Nikos Galanos leaves behind a legacy of elegance, emotional depth, and enduring contribution to Greek performing arts, said a fellow actor. He leaves behind a devoted family and generations of admirers. Though he is no longer with us, the stories he helped tell, and the emotions he stirred, will endure. Tributes to Nikos Galanos. The connection between San Diego and LA and all the musicians that came up is a very interesting story, and I think it needs to be told.